There's a body type that destroys male confidence more than obesity because nobody notices it until your shirt comes off. And that's what makes it so frustrating. Because in clothes, you look completely normal. Hoodie on, fitted shirt, maybe even athletic from certain angles. Nobody suspects anything. But then, the shirt comes off. No abs, no chest, no shoulder shape, no definition anywhere. Not fat enough to feel overweight, not lean enough to look athletic, just soft. Like your body never fully developed. And the frustrating part isn't even how it looks. It's that you've already tried fixing it. You bulked. Your face got puffier, stomach hung over your shorts, you panicked, slashed calories, lost 10 pounds, and somehow looked worse. Smaller, weaker, still soft. So now you're stuck in this weird middle ground where you don't feel strong, don't feel athletic, don't even feel capable. You feel physically average despite trying harder than most people around you. Deep down you're thinking, this is literally me. It is. And here's why everything you've tried so far has made it worse. What skinny fat actually is, here's the truth nobody explains properly. Skinny fat is not a weight problem, it's a body composition problem. Your body doesn't have enough muscle structure underneath the fat. You're carrying moderate fat around the waist, lower stomach, and chest, but there's not enough muscle underneath to create any shape. That's why clothes hide it perfectly. Fabric creates the illusion of structure your body doesn't actually have. And modern life made this physique more common than ever. Sitting for hours, scrolling until 2 a.m., sleeping badly, stress eating, barely moving. Most guys today are building what I call the NPC physique, built like a Discord moderator with lower back pain at 22. This is why guys train for years and still look exactly the same, because they're chasing weight loss instead of muscle development. The issue isn't that you're huge, there's just nothing underneath. Wait until you hear the mistake that's keeping almost every skinny fat guy stuck permanently. Mistake 1, the bulk A&D crash cycle. The classic skinny fat trap goes like this. You hear eat big to get big. Suddenly you're force-feeding peanut butter shakes, eating 4,000 calories, convincing yourself you're building a physique. But instead of looking muscular, you just get puffier. Waist expands faster than your chest. Panic hits. Now you slash calories aggressively. Cardio every day. Tiny meals. The scale drops. But your physique doesn't improve. You just become a smaller, weaker version of the same soft body. Because skinny fat guys don't have enough muscle tissue to reveal in the first place. Huge calorie surpluses make you fatter faster. Huge deficits destroy muscle building potential. So you keep bouncing between extremes until motivation burns out completely. You're not transforming your body, you're just changing sizes. Research on body recomposition shows that beginners and intermediate lifters can build muscle and lose fat simultaneously, but only when resistance training and protein intake are properly structured, not when they're randomly bulking and panic cutting every 6 weeks. Simple fix: stop choosing between extremes. The sweet spot for skinny fat guys is maintenance calories or a small deficit, roughly 200 to 300 calories below maintenance while training hard. That's body recomposition. Muscle goes up, fat goes down. Shape starts appearing. But even guys who find this still make the next mistake. Mistake 2. Cardio is not building your physique. Most skinny fat guys think the answer is more cardio. So they run endlessly trying to burn belly fat. Hit 6 days a week. Leaving every session completely destroyed, thinking exhaustion equals progress. It doesn't. Sweating is not the same as building an aesthetic physique. Too much cardio kills recovery, tanks gym performance, drains energy, and mentally burns people out within weeks. Studies on concurrent training show that excessive cardio volume directly interferes with muscle protein synthesis, meaning the more cardio you stack on top of poor recovery, the less muscle you actually build. And here's the thing nobody says out loud. Cardio doesn't create shape, muscle does. Shoulders create width. The upper chest changes your entire silhouette. Back width builds the V-taper. Arms create visible athleticism even in a t-shirt. Think about the difference between a marathon runner and a superhero physique. Batman doesn't look like he runs ultramarathons. He looks powerful because of muscle structure. Christian Bale didn't build that body on treadmills. He built it under a barbell. Just becoming lighter won't build that. Most guys are running themselves into exhaustion while their physique stays exactly the same. And here's what's actually destroying their consistency long-term. Mistake 3. Extreme diets destroy everything. Keto, carnivore, 0 carbs. For a week, you're perfect. Then, Saturday night hits. Now you're finishing an entire pizza, feeling guilty like you destroyed your future. That cycle is the real problem, not carbs. Fixing skinny fat is simpler than the internet makes it sound. Enough protein, enough calories to train hard, enough consistency to repeat it for months. That's it. Now here's the actual system that fixes skinny fat permanently, the real fix. Step by step, step 1. Train like muscle is the entire goal. Because it is. Progressive overload is the mechanism. If you bench 60 kilograms for 8 reps this week, next week you need 9 reps or 62.5 kilograms. That's it. If your strength keeps going up, your muscles have no choice but to grow. Stop ego lifting. Controlled reps with real intensity build muscle. Throwing weight around with broken form just builds injuries. The Greek statues that still represent peak masculinity thousands of years later weren't built on cardio and crash diets. They were built through structured, progressive resistance training. That standard hasn't changed. Simple fix. Train each muscle group twice per week. Push, pull, legs. Focus on compound lifts, bench, rows, squats, pull-ups, deadlifts. Track every session. If you're not tracking, you're not progressing. Step 2. Walk more than you think. 1,000 to 10,000 steps daily. Walk after meals. Walk during phone calls. Stay physically active without turning every session into punishment. This keeps your metabolism active, manages cortisol, and creates a natural calorie deficit without touching your gym recovery. Step 3. Sleep like your physique depends on it, because it does. Testosterone production, muscle repair, and cortisol regulation all happen during sleep, not at the gym. Research shows men sleeping under 6 hours have testosterone levels comparable to men 10 years older. Most skinny fat guys are sleeping 5 hours while scrolling reels at 2 a.m. and wondering why their body never changes. Simple fix. 7 to 8 hours minimum. Consistent schedule. No phone in bed. This single change will accelerate everything else in this list. And then there's the thing that separates guys who actually transform from guys who stay stuck forever. Consistency is the only cheat code. Motivation disappears. Consistency doesn't have to. Nobody feels motivated every day. The guys who transform aren't the most hyped. They're the most boring, showing up, eating their protein, hitting their lifts, going to sleep, and doing it again tomorrow. Because 80% consistency for 6 months destroys 100% intensity for 2 weeks every time. Here's what the timeline actually looks like. First few weeks, strength improves. You feel different before you look different. Around 4 to 6 weeks, your waist starts tightening slightly. Clothes fit better. Around 3 months, people start noticing something changed without knowing what. Around 6 months, you genuinely look like a different person. Most guys quit somewhere in week 3, right before the results start showing. Simple fix. Stop measuring progress by the mirror every morning. Track your lifts. Take monthly photos. Measure your waist. Trust the data, not the daily reflection. Skinny fat is not permanent. Most guys are actually way closer than they think. They don't need some extreme transformation. They need muscle structure, a sustainable diet, consistent sleep, and enough patience to let the process work. Because this was never really about abs. It's about confidence, presence, walking into a room and feeling capable instead of hiding. Feeling like the effort finally matches the person. 1 year from now, you're either still pulling your shirt away from your stomach without realizing it, or you're the guy who stopped making excuses and finally built something real. Now you know exactly what to do. What you do with it is on you.